they call it, man.
Am I in Romania or Switzerland? What is this weather? Romanian people! Hello everyone, welcome back to another vlog on From Mora with Love. Today I want to talk about something interesting. I want to talk about how people in Poland reacted to my move to Romania. In the previous video you watched me share my first observations after moving here. I talked about different aspects of my life in Romania and what no one tells you about it. But there is another side of this story. There are things people in Poland were saying, and honestly many of them were really surprised. So in this video I want to share what they said and why my move to Romania shocked so many people. And now it shocks me, this weather. Even this car behind me gets crazy. If you are interested in this topic, stay with me. Hai să vă povestesc cum a fost cu adevărat. Many people were really surprised that I was moving to Romania. A lot of people didn't expect something like that at all. My family knew that I had met Anna. They knew I wanted to build a future with her, so in that way it was understandable for them that I was moving. But even they were surprised. They weren't really sure what I would do here. I really don't know what I'm doing here in this snowing weather. Quiet, be quiet. They were asking themselves, how can a Polish guy find this place in Romania? What is he going to do here? How is he going to make a living? To be honest, I was also worried about that. I talked about it in the previous vlog. But in my case, finding a job turned out to be easier than I expected. I found a job after just 3 days in Romania. I already mentioned that in the previous video, but before moving, both I and my family had a lot of doubts. They were worried about how I would manage financially. They were afraid that I might come here and not see any future for myself. They were thinking that maybe life here would be harder than in Poland and that maybe I would have to go back. And the truth is, I left a lot behind in Poland. I left my job, I left my normal life. It was a very serious step for me and it was not an easy decision, but in the end I decided to do it. La început mi a fost și mie frică sincer. The second group of people were my colleagues from my last job in Poland. Some of them were laughing at me. They didn't really take me seriously. For them, moving to Romania sounded like a joke. Some of them were simply in shock. They couldn't believe I was actually going to do it. Before I left, I wrote a goodbye email to the company. By the way, it was funny. And the email caused a lot of reactions. It was very honest. I spoke openly about my previous employer. I said what I really thought about that place. I said what hurt me there and what I didn't agree with. People were talking about the email for weeks. Even a month later, they were still mentioning it. Some were surprised that I used such strong words, but I just told the truth. And the ones who knew I was moving to Romania, some of them laughed even more. Many of them were living in stereotypes. Stereotypes about Romania that are simply not true. They thought it's a poor country, they thought it's only Roma people living here. They thought I would get robbed. They thought there is no civilization here. They imagined Romania as some backward, primitive place. And that's just not reality. And honestly, that was one of the reasons why I started my first YouTube channel about Romania. It was called Life in Romania. I wanted to show how it really looks here, not the stereotypes. Later, that channel evolved. Now I run a Polish channel where I show my real life here. And of course, I also run this channel for over a year now, but only in the last 2 months I've really taken it seriously, sharing my experiences, my observations, my everyday life in Romania. România nu e cum își imagineze unii oameni. And I want to make one thing clear. I'm not saying this to speak badly about Polish people. That's not my intention. I'm only sharing my personal experience. I'm talking about how some people treated my move as something abstract, something unrealistic, something not serious. And honestly, at the beginning, it affected me. I felt like my wings were slightly cut. I was already a bit afraid of this move, and when you hear negative comments, it says in your head. Yes, I had been to Romania before. I visited several times, so I already had my own opinion about this country. I knew it wasn't like the stereotypes. But still, negative comments can influence you. You start thinking, what if they are right? Some people were saying I wouldn't manage here, that I wouldn't survive in this country. But as you can see, I did, and today I'm actually doing better than I was in Poland. Except this snowy weather today. And that's what really matters. I also think that many people live in stereotypes, not only about Romania, but about other countries too. Some people only travel on all-inclusive holidays. They stay in resorts. They have someone who speaks Polish and organize everything for them. They don't need to speak English. They don't need to explore on their own. And that kind of experience doesn't really open your mind. It doesn't show you the real country. When you organize something by yourself, when you travel independently, you see things differently. And I think sometimes it's not about language, it's about mindset. Some of people are simply not ready for change, especially in the place where I worked before. I spent 6 years in that job. Many people stayed there out of habit. They complained about the job, I complained too. But I decided to do something about it. I quit. I chose to move to another country, to start from zero. I'm not saying I expected applause, I didn't need praise. But I think it would have been nice if people didn't try to cut my wings at the very beginning. If instead of saying you won't make it, they just said, good luck. Viața e pentru cei curajoși. So, to sum it up, I can honestly say that I feel better living in Romania than I did in Poland. At this moment, I don't see my future living in Poland. Maybe one day I will make a separate video explaining why, because that's a bigger topic. But today, I just want to focus on one thing, how people reacted to my move to Romania and what kind of opinions I had to face. That's all for today. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm really curious about your opinions. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. And I will see you in the next videos. Take care. Ne vedem data viitoare. Ce ninge afară. Pe curând. I am snowman. Oh my god. What happened here in Romania? I escaped from snowy Poland to Romania and the snow comes here. Incredible. She was acting that, now it's on your mind. Were you roaming with, while you got a lot? Were you holding on to words that you say you don't mean? There's the pain in my chest.